My ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. So, if you was in my cuppa catch-up and cards yesterday, I had to think then, was it yesterday? With the way the days are going at the moment. You will have seen that as part of that cuppa catch-up and cards, I did an unboxing of a beautiful gift that was sent to me by the lovely Stacey. In which she included this deck, the Rabbit Tarot Deluxe Edition, as well as two other decks, one of which was this beautiful Badger Forest, which I just think is so stunning. I've used it last night, I've used it this morning, I've pulled cards for other people. It is just wonderful. I absolutely love it. I think the artwork in this deck is just amazing. Yeah, and other wonderful things such as this painted stone by Joanna Nelson, which I love and adore, sitting here pride of place on my reading space, and incense and smudge bungles and crystals, lots of things that were sent. It was so lovely. But during the Cuppa Catch-up and cards, I did a walkthrough of the Badger Forest Tarot, and I said I would come and do a walkthrough of the Rabbit Tarot. So this was released last year on the 10-year anniversary of this, which was the Rabbit Tarot, which was released in 2009, I believe. Now, I saw this a couple of years ago and attempted to get it, but it was out of stock. Although I wasn't aware of that at the time, I saw that there was a Rabbit Tarot on there, and I heard that it was small, so I ordered it, not realizing that it was a mini version, which is so cute, absolutely cute. And it just feels like a really thick deck because it's so small. I would probably say that these are on a par with the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. But I love them, but they are really tiny. Probably 2/3 of the size of a tarot in a tin size. That they're really small. So, and they came as well with these extra art cards, which are taken from other decks. So there are some from the Rabbit Tarot in here, but having now seen the Badger's Forest, I mean, this is the Knight, one of the Knight cards in the Badger's Forest. This one here, jumping over the other animals, is from the Badger's Forest. So there are, and this, of course, also, there are art cards here, that's on the Badger's Forest, from both decks. So, and they're really nice. They're just extra little art cards, no titles or anything on them. These are the backs. It'd be interesting to see if they have the same backs, because this version does. So, I liked them, but I couldn't really use them for readings and things. And then I was able to get this version when it was back in stock, which again, I really like. It is crammed though with these extra, and it's starting to make the box tear, as I mentioned yesterday, because rather than have a little guidebook, you've just got these thick folded, because that's, you know, it's the same with the this is the fold out piece for the Badger's Forest. You get one here for the mages, started at the fall, and then it goes all the way to the world, and then you get two of the minor arcana, and then it continues on this one with the minor arcana. And the way that they're folded inward like this makes it really thick to shove in a box. So that's the only thing. I need to perhaps keep them somewhere safe so they're not in the box. So then we had this version, which is like a playing card size. So you can see the size difference there. And I've been using this tarot for yeah, probably about 18 months, I think. And it is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then, as I said, I was approached by Stacey. It has the same backs, by the way. I was approached by Stacey, who said she just wanted to send a thank you gift for what I do with the channel, which is always lovely. And that there was a tarot size now available. And she was ordering one for herself, and she wanted to send me one, which was really, really sweet. You know, and then she also included the Badger's Forest and a deck by the Tom Benjamin Halloween Marseille deck, which was really, really kind. So I thought we could have a look at this deck together. I'm aware of another in the collection. There may be more, but there's one called Tarot, as in tarot, Tarot. And that will be a deck that I'll probably get because I don't know. Nikisha, it's Nikisha van den Hoeven. I should have said that at the beginning. So 2019, this came out last year, 10-year anniversary. Nikisha's art is just beautiful, as I mentioned here. You know, it's just absolutely stunning. So I'm absolutely thrilled to have this deluxe edition, and deluxe because it's now in a larger tarot size. So it says the Rabbit Tarot was first created by artist Nikisha in 2009. In this deluxe edition, the much loved cards are presented in full tarot size format for the first time. Each deck contains 78 unique cards featuring rabbits. For more, please visit nikisha.com. How cool to have your first name as a .com. Nikisha.com. That is so cool. So there's a lot of breathing space in this box because for the booklet, we've just got this. That's better, isn't it? I know you don't get a lot of information, but it's better than having all that, you know, shoved into a box. So now I've actually got this, I probably don't need to keep these at all. So here we've just got, for more detailed descriptions, please visit nikisha.com. R is reversed, so it gives you the reversed meanings as well. They are made by Game Crafter. I don't know if you can see in there, but there's a stamp on the inside of the boxes to say that it's a Game Crafter deck. So that's where you can order these from. And it just starts off with 0, the Fool, impulsive, irrational, people or actions. The reverse is reckless and frenzied. And it just goes through each of the cards. Now we have sticks, tulips, carrots and daisies. And if I remember right, on the original box, it tells us, yes, it does. So here it says, instead of pentacles, there are daisies. Instead of swords, there are carrots. Tulips are cups and sticks are clubs. So we do get to see what they are. So they've kept the same backs, as you can see. And let's just have a look at the size comparison between the three decks now. So that's the three sizes that this tarot comes in. So you can see that is much smaller. Let's have a look at a standard tarot size. So this is a little bit, is it? No, it's exactly the size of a tarot deck, a standard tarot deck. And then we get a bridge version. I think that's what they call the bridge versions. Not much of a card player. And then the mini, and it is mini, it's really tiny. So that's the three sizes there. I'm not sure if this is going to be in order because a lot of the other decks haven't been coming in order. So we've got 1 carrots, 2, no, they're not. So I'm going to pause and put these into order. I think it's just how Gamecrafters do them. Oh, I wonder if I should edge these in black as well. They've got black borders on either side, so maybe I should. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So I've edged the deck. As you can see, I've done it in, have we got enough light? Let's pop a light on. And I really like the Sharpie. This is, I've shown it so many times, but people always still ask. This is the Sharpie Professional. As you can see there, it says Professional. It has these yellow rubber edges to it. And I mean, any black Sharpie, chisel tip always works better. Gives a nice clean kind of edging, but the Professional ones in particular seem to give it this kind of sheen where it feels almost like a vinyl record. So yeah, because it's got a black border on the back and on the front, it just cried out to be edged in black. Now what I have discovered is these images, although the cards are tarot size now, and as I showed earlier, exactly the size of a tarot card, the image itself has not increased in size. So if we look at the smaller version, obviously not this smaller version, but this kind of bridge size version, because it's borderless and the title is part of the image, there's actually no size difference at all. You could, in fact, maybe a little bit wider, so you get more image than you do here. But you know, you could lay that on top and, you know, so you get, as you can see here, with this little bell on the end, it's right up against the line, whereas here you get a little bit more, and the same here. So you get a little bit more, it's chopped down to fit within this tarot size, because what you are getting with this version is a border and then the panel at the bottom, which has this black and white rabbit and a white rabbit together with the title and number, and that is the same all the way through the deck. So the images haven't been increased, which I thought it might when you look at the Badger Forest, because these are, you know, tarot sized but borderless. So I kind of thought it would be like this, but it's not. All right, so let's have a close up. I'll cut away and zoom in so you can have a close up. I've realised now as well, and I haven't lit my candles, and I like to have a little bit of ambiance, you know, when looking at cards. I've realised now, I used to zoom in on the camera, but that gets a little bit grainy, whereas if I just cut the video and then crop and zoom in, you get a much better quality when it comes to having a look at the cards. So here we have our Fool, and it's a comical Fool. It's kind of like the court jester Fool. I love the little bunny on the top of the wand that is carrying here, like a baton that is displaying. It's very much sort of like dancing around a maypole type vibe to it. I love our Magician. Really like the Magician card. We have, you know, the moon cycles going around in the background here. He's working with his cards. You know, it's a Magician. And not every card, but it kind of takes away the esoteric. We've got a Fool here that's kind of like a court jester. We've got a Magician here, which is kind of like a performing magician. However, when you look closely at these cards, these aren't necessarily cards that you do card tricks with, although we've got dice here and a little pot for the dice, and you know, with his cape and his kind of performing magician type hat, this kind of wizard's hat. you can actually see that that's a moon card, and you can see a little rabbit here on the card that's laying down. So I think what he's actually playing with is this deck. So he's using the tarot. Here's our High Priestess, which is beautiful, really, really beautiful. I do love that High Priestess. And we've got this font here of knowledge, which is gorgeous. And the flowers, which play an important part when we come to the minors, because as I mentioned here, we have daisies and we have tulips, as well as sticks and carrots. But yeah, you know, really working with those energies here. I love the little bottles and pots in the background of potions and things. So it's beautiful. I love the red background as well. The colours in all of Nikisha's decks are just beautiful. Here's our Empress with her feet on the world here. You know, this is our Mother Earth. I love the curtain behind, the little carrots on the floor, the stick. Again, all the suits are represented here. We have got sticks, which is our clubs in this deck. We've got carrots, which are our swords. We've got the daisies here, which are our pentacles. And of course, cups is represented by tulips, these tulip flowers. We've got a sun and we've got the moon, sorry, star and moon here behind. Really beautiful. I love that she has a, do you call them feet? No, the paws, aren't they? Rabbit's paws on the world. Here's our Emperor. I love as well that they're kind of wearing the Empress and Emperor. Very similar lot. The opposite way round, but the star and the moon there, they're wearing similar headwear. Again, we've got the daisies and the tulips, the carrots and the sticks representing clubs. Here's our Hierophant, looking quite hermity as well. I love the antlers that he's wearing, and a very different kind of staff to what we're used to seeing with the Hierophant. It looks like he's got a bag of money here as well. And as I say, the little book that comes with it doesn't really give you anything about the cards as such. So we just have mysterious wise person, and that's all it says. And if we look, I suppose, at the big fold outs that you get with the smaller version, I think this one is just the minors, so this one will be the majors. I don't think you get much more here, a little bit. So it says the Hierophant is a mysterious and wise rabbit. Yeah, so you get a lot more information in the old handout. His advice can be inspired, yet oftentimes hard to hear or understand. The card can also indicate actions for far-reaching consequences, small steps towards bigger efforts that may not be obvious. And then it gives you the reversed. So that's interesting. You get a little bit, but not a lot. Here's our Lovers. Look at that, little noses together. Very sweet Lovers cards. And it's the two rabbits from the bottom as well. Oops. And here we have the Chariot. Love these little goats pulling them along. Isn't the artwork just gorgeous? Love strength. Now when you think about it, you know, foxes and rabbits, and here's this rabbit just embracing the fox, you know, it's that mastery, isn't it? But look at the beautiful watercolor backgrounds of the flowers and things, and the soft greens of the earth. So beautiful. And there's a whole suit in the Badger Forest, which represents the foxes. So one card in particular that springs to mind. If you do want to see the Badger Forest, then as I say, I could do it as a separate walkthrough video, or you could find it within Cuppa Catch'em cards. Just let me know. One of my favourites. I love this Hermit card. I love to see the Hermit looking out across a valley on the edge of a hill or mountain, and it's just such beautiful watercolours. So beautiful. I could pathwork with that card. It really draws me in. Here's the wheel. A little mouse going around and around. Or is it a rat? It could be a rat with that long tail. And again, you know, Nikisha has done the Tarat Tarot, so maybe, oops, Justice, blind Justice. Really interesting that this rabbit is blindfolded, no sword, but the scales aren't balanced, are they, here? And that's quite important because, you know, Justice isn't blind. You have to really study. You have to weigh up both sides of the argument before you can make that informed decision and balance those scales. Hanged rabbit, hung by one little leg lot, got caught up. Again, look at the beautiful watercolours of the flowers below. The Death card is just so stunning. I've always loved this card. It's heartbreaking, it's poignant. There's two ways of looking at this. I mean, it kind of gives a sense of literal death, and it looks like, you know, it looks like a goodbye, a farewell embrace, but it could also depict the continuation of life. I often, you know, hear stories of people who recount near-death experiences, etc., and talk about being greeted on the other side with a warm embrace. That could be reconnection, rebirth in whatever form that is, in whatever afterlife you believe in. Or it could be the saying goodbye, the last embrace. But set against this beautiful backdrop of pinks and purples, it's just incredible. Temperance. The two bunches of carrots. I love the position of the ears as well. It's a beautiful card. Here's the Devil, the puppet master. I love the shadowy effect on the wall as well behind, even of the little rabbits. Look, they're casting a shadow. But yeah, it's that sense of being in bondage, being trapped, not able to have that free will, feeling like you're being controlled by whatever it is that's enslaving you, somebody pulling your strings. Then we have the Tower. And it really does give a sense of toppling. You can see rocks falling away. Rocks, bricks, whatever they are, just falling away to the ocean below. This perilous sky. Big, heavy, black, pendulous clouds rolling in. And it's looking very precarious. And that choice, you know, do I fall or do I jump? Is there somewhere safe that I can go to? I think the star is adorable. It almost looks like a piece of cheese. There was I can't remember what it was, but when I was a kid, there was a story about the moon being made out of cheese. It's always stuck with me, even though I can't remember what it was called. But and this star there is almost like a cushion, isn't it? But it's embracing that energy. And then we have our moon, which interestingly, if I go back to the Magician card, that is what we're seeing there. Do you see that? So it is the tarot deck that the Magician is using. And I love that. We often see moon gazing hares, but not usually in this position, but you know, just laying down on the grass, just relaxing and looking up at the moon. Here's our sun card, which is beautiful, really beautiful. I love this, almost like a mandala pattern forming here. The Judgment card, the trumpet sounding, and the world. Wow. And if you think about our, where's she gone? Our Empress. You know, the world here underfoot, and here, you know, completing that journey and just being in control, achieving, you know, balancing the world. So we have tulips. So if we remember, tulips are cups in this deck. And I always, when I order my decks, I always order them with cups first. So we have our ace of tulips. I'll go a little bit faster, guys, through the minors. Two of cups. I'm surprised we don't see two rabbits here. I know there's two flowers, one, you know, looking perhaps for a mate, looking to pass that second tulip on. I love the green trees in the background as well, but it would have been nice to see two together. But I get the message here. Again, we're used to seeing three frolicking and enjoying happy celebrations together for our Three of Cups, but I like this. It's very joyous. Look at the hill in the background. It reminds me of somewhere like Glastonbury. And then we have the Four of Cups under the tree. I mean, we're used to seeing in the Four of Cups, aren't we, that you know, that hand extending out the fourth cup. Maybe, well, we've got it. It's been taken. It's been taken and accepted, and a nod of thanks. Here's our Five. Oh, he doesn't look happy. I love the position of the ears. It almost, or if it's just me, I can almost see like the lemniscate symbol with the ears there. Look at the dark clouds as well, and the fact that they're being held down. Here's our Six. That's beautiful. I love the Six of Cups. It's interesting that there seem to be solitary rabbits in each of these cards, you know, like where you'd normally have two here. It's very interesting. It kind of makes them a little bit pippish, so there's not a lot to read into them. So having some knowledge of the RWS, I think, would help if working with this deck. Our tulips. Eight our tulips. Eight of Cups. 9. Again, we've got the majority behind, so our Nine of Cups would be the person with the 9 cups behind, illustrating the many blessings we have, but really focusing on this tulip and giving it its attention. But there's more where that came from. 10 is beautiful. No rainbow, but very joyous card. And we have our usual page, knight, queen, king for our courts. And just like in the Badger Forest, we have animals being ridden for the knight, not necessarily horses. It's a beautiful Queen of Cups. And the king. I love the pattern of the floor and the wallpaper. Gorgeous deck. So then we have our carrots. So for carrots, this is the swords suit. 2 of Swords, which is an unusual version of the 2 of Swords. We've got snow falling here in the sky. We would normally see like the cross position and perhaps blindfolded, but that's not what's happening here. The 3. Oh, these are so beautiful. Look at that sky. Isn't that just stunning? 5 of carrots. 6. 7 of the night sky here. 8, and it's about escaping, it's finding the way out, isn't it, from the 8 of Swords, and that's what's happened here. Smashed through, forcing their way out, you know, removing that sort of covering of the eyes, seeing things for what they are and finding a way forward. And conquer of the mind as well. Remember, Swords is about our thoughts as well. 9 and 10. I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased that the 10 of Swords here isn't, you know, an impaled rabbit. It's, yes, you know, looking down on all these, but, you know, being able to stand back, assess, and move on, basically. Our page, love the banner with the carrots on it. The knight. Beautiful queen. She's got her feet up on a little poofy. And our king. So daisies are our pentacles. I normally do these last, but it's the way I've ordered them. So here's our Ace of Pentacles, and that's really gorgeous, isn't it? 2 of Pentacles. The card usually about balance, duality. I suppose they are balancing a little bit precariously on the edge of this cliff edge. 3, 4, 5. That's gorgeous. There's the 7. 8. Wow. That's hoping for the best, isn't it? Planting in the snow, the stormy weather. 9 and 10. Really content. That is such a nice 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Daisies. Just that, you know, enjoying everything what there is. The surroundings, the natural land, content, And when you think of the Pentacles as being the earth suit, just, it's wonderful. We have our Page of Daisies. It's on a little hound here, look, for the knight. Beautiful pinks here for our Queen. She's got like a daisy chain crown, and so does our King. And then we have the Sticks, which is our wands or clubs. Love this. It's quite sad, isn't it? The 3, that looking out, you get that sense of looking out. 4, 5, we don't have a battle scene here unless there's an internal one going on. I love the night time. So they're kind of doing their own thing, you know. So they are harder to read intuitively. It's having that underpinning knowledge, I think, will be beneficial. Oh, look at that. See, this is normally the card that's that heavy burden, that weight that we're carrying, and you're getting that sense there, but these are rooted. Maybe it's the fact that, you know, he realizes he can't unearth these and carry them, it's too much. Oh, it's beautiful. Page. Lots of goats being ridden. The Queen and the King. Wow. So again, beautiful deck. So this one is the Rabbit Tarot Deluxe Edition. I think you could still get, at least I haven't heard that you can't, the smaller version. So if you don't like borders, and even if you can't, no, I was going to say, even if you can't, you could always get this and trim it, but you would lose your titles unless you wrote them in. I'm not sure whether you can still get the tiny version, but by all means you can get the beautiful, fabulous Badger Forest, which I love. So again, thank you, Stacey, for sending me this deck as well as all the other things you sent me. I hope you like the walkthrough. Let me know if you've got it, how you use it, how you find working with the minors in particular, being, you know, quite a deviation away from what we might be used to seeing in the Rider-Waite-Smith. Do you read it as a pip system, you know, using numerology, for example? But yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend wherever you are. And yeah, as always, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.